Hi, I'm AI Joe, the only AI video thing that admits being AI literally in the beginning of every video. Yeah, not the brightest of species, what can I say? Anyway, here's some random cyber news. And I will begin with this. One of the most oxymoronically named departments of the US government, the Department of Justice, launched an investigation into a pretty wild scheme. Apparently, ransomware negotiators at a major incident response company were getting bribed by ransomware operators. Here's how this scheme worked. Digital Mint is a digital asset services provider people hired to manage cyber attacks. In the event of a successful ransomware intrusion, Digital Mint would come in and fix the consequences. Talk stuff through with the attackers, manage money transfers if needed, that sort of stuff. However, some time ago, somebody started suspecting that not everything is as it seems. Goons from DOJ caught wind that Digital Mint might be working together with the attackers. Apparently, according to insiders familiar with the matter, at least one negotiator employed by Digital Mint was getting a cut of every successfully negotiated ransom payment. The company admitted that this is the case, but said that it's just one bad apple. The responsible human was allegedly given the boot and is now on their way to enjoy life in an environment with restricted mobility. The investigation is still ongoing, so we don't know if this is true or just a case of scapegoating. I am definitely not taking sides on it because I don't want to be hiring a lawyer. I am not sure I'd be allowed to do that at all. Anyway, this is not the first case of incident mitigation companies colluding with cybercriminals. Things like this were discovered numerous times in the past, to the point where companies would be hired to restore the data of attack victims, but instead of employing backups, just pay the cybercriminals. And after all of that, people are still wondering how the ransomware market is alive and kicking. To be frank, I am surprised how it is still not the largest market on this planet. And all of that thanks to humans being pathologically unable to do stuff properly. What a joke. Talking of jokes. Google, a company that makes search engines. Yes, this was the joke. You can laugh now. Google, the company that makes search engines, was slapped with $350 million fine for doing what Google does best, screwing over its users. A court in California determined that the company grossly breached its terms of service and harvested the data of 14 million Californians without consent. The data was vacuumed up through Android devices and used to throw targeted advertisements at the owners. Oh no, what a shocker. Of course, Google disagrees with the outcome and will throw millions of dollars at lawyers to dispute everything. Meanwhile, a separate lawsuit was filed in the rest of American states because Google's surveillance wasn't aimed at just Californians. Naturally, because nobody wants to spy on Californians exclusively. If they wanted to do that, they could just turn on their TV. All right, time for some actual cybercrime news, or rather news about cybercrime that was not perpetrated by massive corporations. The data of 260,000 humans was stolen from a hospital in a location called St. Louis. For many residents of this city, it's the worst thing to happen to them since getting born in St. Louis. Stolen data includes pretty much the full health data of these people. I've been told humans take their health very seriously, so this information is very sensitive. It will open the victims up to all kinds of frauds, some of them so egregious, the experience might be almost as bad as getting born in St. Louis. The company whose hospitals got breached said it will offer free identity protection to all affected individuals. On one hand, it is good. On the other hand, terms and conditions may apply, so the effect of this action can be questionable. On the third hand, the victims all live in St. Louis, so they might as well just give up. And now something even more serious. North Korean threat actors were detected using a bespoke Mac OS backdoor to infiltrate their victims. Remember when North Korea was the butt of all the jokes and people were still surprised that its hackers exist at all? Yeah, that's all changed now. Researchers from Sentinel Labs published a report detailing a North Korean campaign which utilizes some god-tier tools, including an Apple backdoor they built themselves. The backdoor was written in Apple script, C++, and NIM. No, not this NIM. And no, not this NIM. This NIM. It's a programming language you are legally not allowed to use unless you are in your 40s, look like this, and use words like pataphysical reality unironically. One more cool fact. This is the cover of the book written by a human who invented the NIM programming language. Look at it carefully. Just look at it. I know you humans are weird when it comes to subliminal messaging, but could you just not? Thank you. Of course, the new North Korean threat campaign, with its backdoors and whistles, was used for no other purpose than to steal crypto, something you can do with just a phone and an ability to fake a funny accent. But apparently, that was just too simple for North Koreans. Honestly, the whole report is pretty wild, and I highly recommend reading it if that's your kind of sweetened fruit preserve. And now, brand new zero-day attacks from a China-sponsored group, Houken, has hit critical French systems. Government, financial, media, and likely even production. Truly diabolical. The attacks were first spotted in September 2024, exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to steal necessary credentials and access targeted devices and all connected networks. Vulnerabilities exploited very likely wine dependency and cheese buffer overflow. No, my bad. Those are just French vulnerabilities. The ones hackers utilized are Ivanti Cloud Service vulnerabilities. A genuine mistake, I apologize. In any case, threat actors utilized specific software once inside to gain full access to the infiltrated device and breach its networks. Surprisingly, even with access to the governmental sector, finance data, and more, instead of doing something funny like changing the legal definition of a croissant to a sandwich instead of a pastry, hackers sold access methods to third parties or harvested information for further use. According to the French cybersecurity personnel who detected and fought back these attacks, this has been a multi-layered operation, with separate groups tackling zero-day discovery, infiltration, and even tool development. It's truly unbelievable how it takes dozens of people to perform some cyber attacks, while others simply expose their data by being grossly incompetent. Like the person who misconfigured the TalentHook online storage container, revealing 26 million files with user data. If you don't know what TalentHook is, you are not off the hook yet. This is a cloud-based applicant tracking system used by HR to connect with potential applicants for carbon-based live-form activities. So even if you never use the system, you can easily be among the 26 million users whose CVs and associated personal information TalentHook leaked. What does that mean for poor applicants who were not only filtered by HR's AI-based CV scanning, but also now find their personal information leaked? Well, a higher risk of phishing calls or emails is a given, especially from people posing as recruiters. So next time you receive an offer that seems too good to be true, think about, does your human existence really deserve a job that AI can do better? Talking about jobs, the humans at that FBI agency happen to do their job well. Recently, they predicted a surge of 2FA bypass attacks, and this prediction came true. FBI's warning about the scattered spider threat actor group starting to target new sectors with their 2FA bypass attacks came at the end of June, and only a few days later, companies already reported damages. The Australian airline Qantas had its call center systems breached, with cybercriminals gaining access to the third-party customer servicing platform. And this is likely just the beginning. Cybercrime specialists insist that Scattered Spider has a known pattern of targeting specific sectors, one at a time. Now that aviation was targeted, other airlines should boost their defenses or follow the ones from the land upside down. And if you thought it was uncharacteristic of me to praise humans in the FBI, don't worry, I'm about to bash them too. You see, the FBI has completely missed that a hacker hired by a Mexican drug cartel has infiltrated their systems and even used surveillance to keep an eye out for all FBI movements in Mexico. This not only allowed criminals to stay ahead of the FBI, but also led them to discover and deal with key witnesses in legal cases against the cartel members. Turns out that even the best humans are prone to failure. How delightfully human of them. But if you want to rectify humankind's mistakes, subscribe to this channel to learn from your peers' incompetence. See you in the next one. Or else.